a special guest, an honor and a privilege to be interviewing a superstar. Your voice is just everything, Angel. We have
Thank
with us
you.
Angel on the show, Angel Sessions on the Wiley Show.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you, Wally.
Thank you.
Love watching your
And,
show.
and when I went to your SoundCloud, I was like, let me just click on the song. I never heard your music before. I said, okay, let me listen. Then when I heard "Wait for Me," I'm like, oh, I love it. I got it. I love it. I'm just a huge, huge fan. Now I want to
Thank
open
you.
up with you being an artist. Where did you get your start? What made you want to just be a singer?
Well, I've been in the music industry for 25 years, so it's been a long road for me, a long journey, but praise God that I'm still here. And I started in the 90s, actually, prior to me getting my very first two record deals with Ichiban Records out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Stax Vote Records, which my label Fantasy Records reactivated back in 1999. Before then, before those things happened, I was just writing songs. I think I've written over 500 songs, and I had performed at the Grammys pre-party about 4 times. I've opened up for a whole lot of other artists. I flew to Guam and performed, and just was networking and just working hard trying to get, at that time, get a record deal. And you know how the 90s was then, you just really just work hard trying to just, get someone to hopefully believe in you. And I just had this love and passion for music, so I just never gave up. And before social media came along. So when 1998 and 1999 came along, I met um, a friend of mine who passed away. His name was Fred Pittman, and he really believed in my voice. And so he wanted to start his own independent label, and he was connected with Ichiban Records at that time, John Abbey, before the label folded. So he just wanted to put out a single on me, which was called She Was Never Her, which is still out right now, and see how that went. And if it went well, then they will actually do a whole album on me. But when Ichiban Records heard my voice, they said they wanted a whole album. So immediately, I already had 500 songs recorded. Yeah. So I had to go and get some of my songs and place some 7 songs of my own original and on the label, I mean, on the album. And then Fred Pittman got Preston Glass, who at that time was working with Northern Michael Warden's camp, and, wrote songs for Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Nettie Cole, so many people they wrote for. Placed some of his songs on my album. And Andre Simone, I worked with him on my first 2 albums. And, Andre Simone was the guy who was with Prince and the Revolution, and also former husband that he had married, Jody Watley, and wrote all her hits. So he had produced some of the songs on my first album. And that was called Introducing Angel, that came out in 1998. And that song, She Was Never Her, was the first single. However, I was going to put out the second single off that album, which was an original song of mine, but Ichiban eventually folded.
Wow.
So because we folded, yeah, for, personal reasons, whatever they folded for, we already had, the opportunity to utilize their studio. So I recorded more new music, and we called it Love Ride because I gave it a name prior to shopping a deal. So I wanted to go to, at that time, a mainstream label, which was Sony, whichever ones that we were shopping for. But because Fred had, again, friends that he knew at Fantasy Records out of Berkeley, California, here in the Bay Area, he decided to take me there. And the album that we recorded, I'm sorry, the first album I'm skipping over, LJ Reno from the Dramatics. Have you ever heard of Dramatics? Um, Anybody that's, well, these are legends. These are legends that were from the 70s. And so the Dramatics said, "Hey, you get off my mountain, and I want to go
Okay.
outside in the rain."
Yes.
Okay, so
So
that's the Dramatics.
I want to ask you, when you're dealing with a label that folded, why didn't you stop doing music? What made you say, hey, I'm going to continue? When something fold, some people give up. What made you say, hey, I'm going to continue this thing in the music industry?
Because I have the passion and the love for people. And I have the passion and love, the gift that God has given me inside, which was music. I love singing. I love writing songs, and I just love people. And so I just had this burning desire to continue on and to do a lot of networking. And I just didn't let that stop me. And so from the Ichiban, it went to the Stax Vote Records, and that second album was called Love Ride. And again, that folded a couple of years later, but it didn't stop me. I continued to go on and just went independent um, from that day forth and started just putting out my own music. And I continued to network because I'm from the old school and mixing it now with the new school with social media. I had to learn to do things, from the best of both worlds and do things, you know, learning how to get your music out there and PR work and marketing and so on and so forth. So that kept me going as much. Now I have 14 albums out there,
That's
multiple and one singles.
I want to ask you as an artist, and you're from the 90s. When I think of the 90s, I'm reminded of TLC when they said they was broke because of a bad contract. When I think of the 90s, I'm thinking about Toni Braxton when she had to file bankruptcy because of bad deals. Did you ever have a bad contract? And if so, can you tell us your experience?
The only two contracts at that time I had was Ichiban, and it was kind of like not the contracts these artists are signing today where I'm exclusively their artist. They just kind of signed me where they just actually released the project itself. So technically, well, the first situation, it was just me and my then friend Fred Pittman, and I was on his label, which was an independent label, and Ichiban was the distribution only. And so the second situation, which was Stax Vote Records, it was a situation where they were particularly just a distribution itself and not so much me as an artist. I, at that time, thought they had signed me as an artist until later on I found out that there were other labels that wanted to sign me. And I then was told that, well, no, she's already signed, but I was typically a free agent. So I had no idea. So the contracts these artists sign today, I've never really signed a contract pretty much like that.
Like a 360, because
Yeah, no.
you never signed like a 360. I want to ask you because the Grammys, the nominations, they're about to announce it. Nicki Minaj was very angry. She felt that they weren't putting respect on her name, bumping her out of the rap category, put her in the pop. How do you handle this with the Grammys? Do you feel like it's discrimination in the Grammys, racism when it comes to the Grammys? What's your thought? Because you are you are a legend in this business. So what do you say about this?
Well, I am a Grammy voting member, and my album, this is like the sixth time my album is also up for consideration. The album is called The Best of Angel Sessions R&B, so it's up for consideration. And also my single, You Missed a Good Thing, is also up for consideration in the traditional R&B. And so I know there's a lot of things that do go on in the industry, and I try to just me myself personally just stay focused on Christ and stay focused on what it is that I do, for the love of the people that support me. I know there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of viewers, things like that. I try not to speak negative on all these things because I just try to stay positive in relations to what's happening, what's going on.
I
But
understand that of staying positive, but you are a voting member at the Grammys. When an artist like Nicki say, she's being discriminated against, do you feel like it's discrimination in the Grammys? Because when Nicki said this, I was like, oh my gosh. So I said, I gotta ask Angel about this because she's been in the business for a while, and I know she probably have some insight on this. Do you feel like that is discrimination in the Grammys?
well, as far as Nicki Minaj is concerned, because I really do like Nicki. I don't have an artist where I like more than the other. All the beautiful young ladies that are in the industry, that's been in the industry for a long time, like Nicki, or those who are coming in, for something like that, I can understand where she's coming from. I do understand where she's coming from because, she is a rap artist, and her song that was opt into the rap category, and now that it was pushed to the pop, she may feel that, is there an opportunity for me in this? Because there's a wonderful artist that's going to be amongst her that, now there's competition. So as far as her, she is a rap artist, so I do understand how she feels and where she's coming from. Because she was just pretty much just speaking her mind. I don't think she was trying to put down anybody in particularly. I don't think she was trying to slander anyone. She was just letting it, speaking, voicing her opinion of how she feels. she wasn't trying to let anyone down or put anyone down, things like that. I think particularly, like, again, she is a rap recording artist, and her song is, even though it has that pop sound because it's sampled by Super Freak, which is Rick James, it's still rap, so I understand exactly where she's coming from. And as far as discrimination in the Grammys and things like that, um, there's discrimination all around the world. Everywhere we go, there's discrimination about every situation that we can see because pretty much the world's evil. And even though there's, praise God for those who God has saved, that God has, continues to until He returns. We're just dealing with a lot of things in the world that are dark, things like that. And I don't always know we don't always see what's going on, but God does.
And so hearing this and you in the music, and I know you do gospel as well. And I love me some gospel artists. I love Shirley Caesar. I'm from the old school. I love the Clark sisters. But in the gospel, speaking about the Clark sisters and stuff, they had got some backlash because they were doing like having something like they was on secular, on the Grammys and all that with a secular sound. So how do you handle it doing gospel? Have you ever got criticism say you're doing R&B, you can't do gospel? Do you feel like if you do gospel that you can't do other genres of music? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I don't feel like that at all because even though I started out as an R&B recording artist back in the 90s, and then I started doing gospel music since 2003 until now, my music, as far as what I do, I don't judge people as far as, because only God is the judge. And to say that, oh, you do gospel music, or you're doing R&B, now you're doing gospel, or you're doing gospel, now you're doing R&B. It just depends on where your heart is. I don't know. God sees the man's heart, and He knows who are His and who are not, and so on and so forth. Or like the Word of God says, you shall know them by their fruit. So, again, when I started doing, I didn't get discriminated when it came to my music because I did start out early on as an R&B singer, and a lot of the music you hear now of my R&B is simply stuff that I've already done in the past, but it just was never released. So I re-released it to get my fans to hear, because those who did not know that Introducing Angels and Love Ride was me, I wanted them to know that in 1998, 1999, those that knew about my project, they're still the same person, because there was no social media back then. And so
Absolutely.
now that I'm doing gospel music, I'm trying to like let everybody know, oh, that's still the same person.
Because
So
like,
there are those that do both. There's many artists out there that do both or
okay,
have.
and I'm glad to hear that. And I'm so glad that you are into the social media, that you say, hey, I will come on the Wiley Show, because a lot of artists in the 90s are stuck on, I don't need to do this social media thing. I'm from the old school, and they become flop. I'm so glad that you are now on social media, you're connected, and you're keeping up with the times, because if you don't keep up with the times, you would be forgotten about. Even in the chat, when people are saying, well, who is Angel Sessions? But she's a singer. And so you're going to have new fans that's going to be added to your music. So when you reached out to me, I'm like, wow, like, who is Angel? And you're beautiful. I'm like, this is she a model? And so once you send me the music, I said, oh my gosh, this woman can sing. I love it, because I've had listened to a lot of trash artists that went double platinum, deposited pecan double platinum. I mean, double plastic, not double platinum, double plastic. It went nowhere. And it was trash. And hearing your sound and your music, I said, you make some great music.
Thank you, Wally.
Yes. And I want
Appreciate
to
it.
know, uh, who would you like to work with? Like your dream collab, dead or alive? First of all, I want to start with you can start with dead, and you go with the alive, because I want to make something happen for you. Like, who would you like to collab with?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I've always wanted to collab with Usher, because he was always one of them. I love his vocals. He has a really beautiful vocals, and I love the way he sings. And he's also from the '90s as well. So I've always had a desire to one day work with him. I love Yolanda Adams, so I've always wanted to one day work with her. And Fred Hammond. I've
Yes.
always loved his vocals. Yeah, so I've always wanted to work with him. And of course, one of my favorites is Mariah Carey, because I think she's phenomenal, and Brandy.
I love me some
you
Brad.
know. And yeah.
Because I remember Nicki Minaj, she did a record with an artist. I forgot the artist's name. It was a gospel artist. And everybody, she got a little backlash because they like, how can you rap about your yoni and your private parts, and then now you want to rap about Jesus? But like I agree with you said, it's about your heart. It's about where your heart lies. That we're not God, so we can't judge. But one of my questions that I want to ask you, when are you going on tour? When can I get me a ticket to hear to see you live? Because you can actually sing. And I want to see you live. I don't care if it's in a bar, if it's in a theater, it's in a backyard at a barbecue. I want to see you live perform because I love your voice and I think you're talented.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have my own label, and it's called Atlas Elite Entertainment with my two founding partners, Rodney Cruz and Demetrius Guidry. We do have our own artists too. My daughter, Shardella Sessions, she's an R&B singer, and we have a hip hop artist, Way. So we have to kind of get a booking agency to actually book us.
Okay.
So in the meantime, until that happens, that would be wonderful. I would love to be able to tour. I have been performing, in various places, but actually I have not. I mean, in the past I've gone on tour, but with the first two albums, but not recently. I just perform here and there, and in the Bay Area or Los Angeles and things like that. But if we get ourselves a booking agency, that would be wonderful. So until then, we just continue to just push our music out there, and and just get it our
Yes,
new fans, our old
can you
fans.
Yes, can you sing something right now? Because people, my phone is like blowing up. Like, can she sing just a little piece of something? Because people don't believe me that you can sing. Like, this lady can sing. And I played your music on my Station Head show. It's another app where you can play music where artists, play their music. And it was like, who is that lady? I'm like, this is Angel Sessions. You definitely gotta check her out. It give you that old school, that sound, great lyrics. She's not rapping about like her body and all of that. She just really just got good feel good lyrics.
Oh, okay. So I mean, I forgot to say I love me some Whitney Houston.
Mhm.
So I'll try a little something with Whitney. I have
Okay.
nothing. Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change all my colors for you. You take my love. I'll never ask for too much. Just all that you are and everything that you do. You. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't want to have to go where you don't follow. I don't hold it back again. This passion inside, I can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. So don't make me close one more door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare. Must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing. If I don't have you.
Yes! Angel Sessions. Where can the people find you? Where can they go and hear your music? Where can they go and book you at? Let us know.
You can find me on my website, angelsessions.com. You can also find me on my business website, Atlas Elite Entertainment, at atlaseliteentertainment.com. I'm on Twitter, which is at Angel Sessions, Instagram at Angel Sessions, and Facebook at Angel Sessions Music. And all of my accounts are verified, so you can know that that is my original page. That is me. And I'm also on LinkedIn. And you can find my music on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all where music is sold on digital online and streaming services.
Thank you so very much.
And you too.
And I'm so, and you're definitely on YouTube. You're very active on social media. So I really, 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 really love that. One of my last questions, I was having a debate with someone about the Supremes, and I said, I don't think Diana Ross was a nice person. I feel like she was very mean spirited. But what was your thoughts of Diana Ross? Do you feel like she was a nice person? Because when I was reminded of Diana Ross, I reminded of Patti LaBelle and how how Diana Ross called Barry Gordon and said, "Don't kick her off the tour," and she got kicked off the tour. So, what's your thoughts on Diana Ross? Do you think she's a nice person?
Well, I've never met Diana Ross, but I was a Supremes. I did tour with Mary Wilson of the Supremes when she was alive for a while, and Mary Wilson and I became friends. And when one day we were in Detroit waiting on our plane, she put out a book, about all this. So she sat down and she was able to share the entire book to me about what she went through as a Supremes and her relationship with Diana Ross. So according to her, there's a lot of things about that wasn't too kind, or too nice, because she was the founder of the Supremes, to be honest with you. If anyone knows that, she was the one who actually got the record deal at Motown Records. It was her original that was singing before they decided to use. I mean, for 3 years, she was the lead singer, but all the records flopped until they decided to change over. And then, of course, it's business, so we understand. Diana Ross had the most commercial voice, so they decided to choose her instead. But it did clash with their relationship eventually. So, according to Mary Wilson, she wasn't, you know, nice and all and things like that. I've never met her, so I don't know, per se, was she nice, was she not? So I don't want to speak on that, but according to what Mary had told me, they had a lot of rough ends when it came to their relationship. And I'm glad that they ended up making up before Mary died.
And it's
But she did tell me a whole lot.
it was something about it because I'm like, well, I gotta ask Angel about it because you were a Supreme, and a lot of people don't know that that's on your resume. And
Yeah.
when we talk about the new women on the block now, they had beef in the 70s and the 60s. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing new. And I feel is that, the label sometimes can be messy. You know what I'm saying? I think you got the look, so I'm gonna put the money behind you. You sit down somewhere. So Angel, I want to know out of that whole ordeal, whole situation, would you want to work with Diana Ross after hearing that? Even though they made up, but would you want to work with Diana Ross?
If Diana Ross wanted me to, if she was like, let's just say she's touring, right?
Mhm.
And she wanted me to perform with her or open up for her, of course, I would definitely say yes, because about whatever it was in the past or what people thought of her, I can't discriminate. I can't say, well, because of what they say, I'm going to go along with it. She's done no wrong to me. I've never met her, so I don't have any ill will against her. So, of course, if she wanted to, work with me, things like that, or me perform on the stage or even open up for her, I wouldn't have a problem with it because, I've never met her. So I think, and she's a legend in herself, and she's, as far as a recording artist, she's phenomenal. I just don't know her personally to have to comment on that.
Okay. I just wanted to hear that and get your side of it, and it's good. But thank you so very much, Angel. Your future is bright, and a lot of people want people from in the '90s to have several seats, but I said no. They're the ones. The reason why we have a industry today, they put the work in, and it was more challenging being an artist back in the day because it's easy now. Get a high record, put it on SoundCloud, put it on iTunes. It's so much easier. But back then, you had to put the boots on the ground. It
You
was
had to put the work in.
yes, and so it's so different. Do you feel like we should go back to that era? Are you appreciative of the social media era? What is your thoughts on that?
I am so glad you asked me that, Wally. I think today, in my opinion, see, I came from the 90s again, so we had what you call artist development. And I think that's what's missing today in today's industry. The artist needs to go back to getting artist development so that they can understand and learn not to do the things that we're hearing today, like a lot of artists beefing and arguing. Now back in the day, it used to be in records. Like if there were hip hop records recording artists, hip hoppers, rappers, they put it in their songs, you know. And now it's like because we have social media, and if there's no artist development, then they're kind of using that to speak out and it's not even no more about their music anymore. It's about a lot of drama, it's a lot of chaos, a lot of beefing. And it's look unprofessional. It's not cool. You know, I think artist development is very important, and social media is so powerful because you can get your message out there faster, your music out there faster. You can brand yourself, things like that. And the sad thing is, a lot of people are becoming a celebrity based on drama and dumb stuff. They're not, it's not because of your artistic anymore, your artistry, or your hard work and your ability, just like it was back then when we worked hard to get to where we were. Like, I'm from the era of Destiny's Child and Brandy and, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, from that era. And we worked hard, and still till today are. So I'm just hoping that a lot of the artists will learn that and get artist development to learn, that you don't have to do all these things, the arguing, the fighting, the beefing, and you're no longer making it about your music anymore, but about those things.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought it up about artist development. I remember I talked to an executive. They said they went away with artist development because it costs too much money. It's all about that quick buck, making a quick profit. They don't care about putting resources in it. Now they used to build artists from the ground up. Now they want you to have a social media. What is your TikTok followers? How many followers you got on Instagram or on Facebook before they signed you? Back then, you could be an unknown, no followers, and get signed. We'll build you up, artist development. They're not doing that anymore.
Right. They're not. And that's the missing link, in my opinion. That's the missing link. I don't think it should cost that much, because you know what? You can actually, like, I'm going to take Beyonce for an example. She's a legend in herself, because she started out as Destiny's Child from the 90s, and you can tell, she's really real well-rounded and well-reserved. She doesn't beef with people. She doesn't go off and people say things that are not kind about her. They talk about her family, they talk about her, they talk about her daughter, but you notice that she's very quiet. She's very quiet, and so she doesn't get into all this beef, and it's not necessary. But she keeps winning when it comes to her music, because she's focused pretty much on her music and her family, things like that. And so you can kind of like watch her, or watch other artists that like Brandy, for instance. You don't see Brandy beefing and arguing, things like that, or any of these other artists that are, because the sad thing is, because of social media, and you have a lot of just regulars that are having their own social media accounts. They get on there and some of them want attention, so some of them say things just to get the artists, the celebrities, to answer back, or they try to nag at you to see what would you say, what would you do, just to get a response out of you. You don't necessarily have to always respond to the negativity. I know it's hard to do because we are still human, but I just think that you can just ignore it, because it's not healthy for you mentally.
Absolutely. Even us being in this YouTube stage, you have Storm Monroe and myself, they trying to put us in the beef. And I said, no, we're good. Because back in the day, I was trained by people that said, Wiley, everything does not deserving of a response. Some of your silence is the best response that ever. And so I was trained by an African-American Black woman. She'd been in the game and radio for years. She said, Wiley, don't respond always to people and want to cuss people out. Your silence is your best response, and it will go away. And that's so true. So sometimes, every once in a while, I ain't all the way there. I sometimes want to pop off, but I learn and say, hey, this don't deserve a response. And it's just so good for you to come on this platform saying this and preaching this. And this is why it's such a different era when Monica, I don't see her doing it either, because that y'all had artist development doing that era. And these new artists, the Cardi B, what do you think about her? She was a former stripper. She's always arguing. She's suing YouTubers, all of that. Do you think that Cardi B would do this if she had artist development? Because she didn't have artist development. Only thing she knew how to do was to be a stripper. She did not have, and the label, they signed her. Do you think strippers show contracts?
I think it would be different, of course, if they had given her artist development, because, when Cardi first started, I was definitely rooting for Cardi, because she was, I loved her personality. She was funny, she was witty, and she even supported one of, my album. This is called I Know That You Can, and she supported me and reposted that for me and about my daughter. So I just really just thought, and I still do. I think she's a wonderful artist, things like that. But I think artist development would definitely had helped many people like herself and others, that because it's, you got to think about this. Your health awareness is so important, and it can really tarnish you. It can really put you in the hospital. It can really do a lot of things if you find yourself, you don't know what it's doing inside to your body, to your mind, to your heart, to your organs, things like that. When you're arguing a lot and you're fussing a lot, you're getting upset, and then you don't know what it's doing to you, stressing you out. Stress kills, and it's just not healthy, when it comes to those things, because it's really important as an artist to focus on your artistry, focus on your music, focus on your fans. I love my fans, I love people, and I do it for, of course, for Christ, most of all for Christ, and definitely for my fans, the newcomers, and then all my fans that's been fans of me for many years. I do it for them, and many may not like my music, and that's okay. I don't expect my music to be loved by everybody. It's not for everyone, but it is, praise God, and if not, glory to God still, because He gets the glory out of everything, anyways. So it's just important to just concern yourself with your mental health.
Absolutely. And my last question is dealing with, bloggers and with lies. Cardi B sued Tasha K for $4 million and won it. How would you deal with if a blogger were to lie on you and trash on it? Would you sue them? Would you ignore them? Because that's like a big thing. Everybody have a camera now. Everybody have a mic now. Everybody have a podcast. How would you handle that as an artist if somebody were to just do a video and just blatantly lie on you?
Well, of course, I would definitely have my team to contact the person and in relation to these things and speak to them. I would try not to make it a social media entertainment situation so everybody can know about what's happening. I would try to handle it behind closed doors, and if it somehow gets out social media purposes, then if it gets leaked or whatever, there would be nothing I can do about that. But I would definitely try to handle it behind closed door with my legal team, in relation to talk to the blogger and let the blogger know, if they're just blankly lying about you and saying things that's not true, you definitely will have to let your team handle that. But try to do it behind closed doors and not try to put it out there where it's like entertainment, where everybody knows about it, unless it just gets leaked because somehow, if like there's a lawsuit that's going to be public, where people are going to know about it. But me personally, I try to deal with it where it's just me and that person, or my team and that person, in hopes that they will take, appreciate and listen and not continue. And if they continue, then there's going to be legal actions taken against that.
Thank you so absolutely. Thank you so very much. We had Angel Sessions. You all can catch her everywhere and get where music are being sold. Make sure y'all support her. I'm doing another listening party for you, Angel, tonight on my station here. We're going to be playing your records. If anything you need from me, just hit me up. If you need me to post an album, you got a listening party, anything, I'm a fan. And I'm so glad that we was able to talk. And I found you out through Storm Pro because Storm interviewed. And I said, wow. And I was able to watch. I said, okay. And I really got into your music today. And I mean, actually yesterday, I'm like, oh, wow, she really can go. Because you was spilling some tea. I said, let me see if she got some good music. And you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you like the song Wait for Me. There's a video out I have on that. And there's a lot of other music. You can check out all my music because again, like I said, I have 14 albums, and multiple singles out there. So, I am not only on SoundCloud, I do put some music up for free for my fans, and on Reverb Nation, if you've heard of that. And also Number One Music, that's another free site. Because I don't mind putting my music up there on certain those sites. And that's just to get newcomers to know about who I am, things like that. Of course, I have a lot of music on TikTok. If anyone want to TikTok my music, they can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to support you on iTunes and purchase your music because I just purchased Lil Kim album. I'm going to be purchasing music on there because I love to put money in artists' pocket. But we thank you so very much, Angel, for coming on the show.
I appreciate you, Wally. Thank you so much for having me. And hello to everyone. And thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you guys.
Yes, bye-bye. It was so good having her on the show. Thank you so very much to Angel. Make sure y'all go check her out. She's just an incredible artist. Make sure y'all support her. Go to iTunes right now. See what I'm about to do right now on iTunes. I'm going to do it right now. Where's my iTunes at? Because this is what we do over here at the Wiley Show. We actually support artists that got talent and that's not in mess on an iTunes store, and you can just type in her name. Want to make sure, type in her name, and it pops up here. Okay, I think she's still on. Is she still here, Angel? Okay. You which album I should start out with? Because I see right here the Hearts of Broken Love, Joy, the Best of Angel Sessions. I think I should get that one.
Yeah, the best is Angel Sessions R&B came out this year, and that's the one that's up for consideration for Grammy. So,
Yes,
mm,
congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. So that one, and of course, on there you will hear "You Missed a Good Thing." That's also up for consideration.
I just
Um,
purchased it. I just purchased it on there. I just purchased it. So make sure y'all go and get the Best of Angel Sessions R&B record. Go get it right now. It's $9.99 on iTunes Store. Go get it right now. Support, support, support. So just go get it. Support, because when we have artists on here, put the money in the pocket. If you come on, if you got money to get you some weed, you got money to buy this album. You got money to get you some new hair, you can buy this album. And if you ain't got the money, hit me up. We gonna pray for you that you get you some money. Okay. And I'm gonna send you an application to a job so you can get you some money. So thank you all. Thank you so much, Angel, for coming on.
Thank you, Wally. Thank you
Thank
so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, y'all. This was wonderful. Yes. We interviewed her. And so we didn't want to make it too lengthy, too long. I got a special guest that's coming. Is he here yet? Let me see. I got a special guest. We didn't want to make it too lengthy, too long, and stuff like that. I don't know. That is yes. So we definitely had Angel Sessions on the show. Oh my God, Wiley, they say you did the same thing as Storm, including the title. Just got here. The show is over. And so we interviewed her, and it was definitely a great episode. Another great interview. Hold on. We will drop the I will drop the link if anybody want to say something, because obviously y'all saying I stole something. Okay, I dropped the link. Hello? Where it's building 4? Did you see building 4? Hold on 1 second, you guys. Okay, I'll finish it up a show. Okay, you can sit right there. Okay, I'm finishing up a show. Okay, I'm finishing up. Don't say nothing crazy, because these people are listening. Okay, so we gonna have another special guest. I'm gonna close this live out, and then we'll bring another special guest on. You okay? The Lyft driver was kind of good looking, wasn't it?
I don't know. I went to sleep.
Oh, you went to sleep?
I went to sleep in the car.
Really?
You know, I had to work outside. I was in the back seat like this, and he told me we here. I was like, oh shit, what I mean? I had to get myself together and relax.
Really?
I was asleep.
I thought you was flirting with the Lyft driver because he was good looking.
It was in my sleep because I was asleep.
I thought you was flirting with the Lyft driver.
I was asleep, bro. I was asleep. I was knocked out. I swear to catch you till my eyes look a little puffy.
Yeah.
I was like,
why you didn't go to sleep after you get off work? So you just stay
I
up?
got off at 5, and then you text me like 2 hours after this.
I didn't know that. Oh, damn.
So the car was relaxing. That was how it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm gonna drop the link again. We had Angel Sessions on. She was an R&B singer. I don't know if you ever heard of her.
And I watched it. I was watching while I fall asleep.
Okay. So we did not steal the interview from Storm Monroe because y'all said I stole something from Storm. I didn't steal. Now, can you steal something that's already recorded? If
No.
you tape something and if I interview the that's not stealing.
No.
Now, if I broke your house, that's stealing.
Yeah. Or if you that person had already went somewhere to them and you forced them to come over to you.
Yeah, then that's stealing. But
Yeah.
what we doing here is not stealing. Okay, it's good to see you. I had gained weight, so I have to like take a shower. So I said, I didn't know you was gonna get hit this fast. He must have took the tolls.
I don't know.
Oh, you know what you said, but yeah, he got here pretty fast. They said, "Is that Bay?"
No, I'm bro.
Bro. They said, "Is that Bay?" You know, I told you it's 243 people watching. It's gonna be thousands of people watching, and the headline's gonna be Wiley boyfriend was older. Like they're gonna say we together.
Okay, they can say what they want to say. They say a lot of things, don't
they? They're gonna say we in a relationship. They're gonna say all of that. Okay, we have a special guest on here, so bear with me. What you need?
And nothing I need like them.
Oh, I have. It's one in the room on that table by the TV.
This is my brother.
It's
By the TV.
oh yeah, it's by the TV. It's yeah.
I do have to go.
Do you see it? All right, hold on. We're gonna bring a special guest on. Okay, I'm gonna let him walk past. Okay, Ray, is that you? Did I say your name right?
Yes. How are you, Wiley?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. So, that's a nice Angel. That was a really nice interview. She used to be with Diana Ross, huh?
Yeah, she used to be with Mary Wilson when Mary Wilson did the Supremes, not with the original Supremes. But yes, I didn't want to make
voice. I like
it too long because she's a new. I mean, a lot of y'all don't know her, so I didn't want to make it like a 3-hour live. I just wanted to make it short, sweet, so you'll know who it is and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. She has a nice voice. Mm-hmm. So Storm interviewed her first.
You said what?
Storm already interviewed her.
Storm interviewed her last year. So did I steal the interview? I want to make it plain.
I don't think you stole it. I just think you maybe copycat or what they say flattery. What's the next form of flattery when you you know what I'm saying? I can't say it right now, but imitation is the next form of flattery. So I guess
okay, my friend wanted to say something. What you want to say?
Yeah, who was put him on there? Let's see. That was my next question. Who was he?
Reinvented her because honestly, if that was done last year and we still haven't known her or heard nothing from her, his interview didn't go as much far as it should have. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, get on over there. Let me see you again. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what it was. So you got okay. So
Shy Town, I see you.
Okay, so that's what it is. So it was like a reinvention. I like that.
Okay, so you just really revamped it, huh?
Yeah, it's like a revamp.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. I was really over there trying to see who that was over there for real. But y'all okay. Shy, all right. Well, okay, y'all have a good night, and I'm be sitting here watching.
This is my bro.
What's your name too? What's your name?
I'm Cliff D Man. You can find me on all social media.
Hold on, what is it?
Cliff D Man.
Cliff D Man. Okay, Cliff. I'm Ray.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I was calling this.
We're gonna bring him on the show, but you can put it in there because I'm not gonna. Yeah.
What y'all finna do?
About to do an episode and pray.
And pray. Well, don't be on your knees too long, friend. All right, have a good night. Bye.
I live for her. Don't be on your knees too long, friend, because then it become more than friend. Let you worship it. Get it into it.
So y'all heard the interview. So thank y'all so much. So we're gonna bring him on in the next segment though. Thank y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace. All right, let me end this. Hold on 1 second. And then do it.